Oh, hello.
Oh,
I just
thank God.
what?
So strong. He made this coffee for me. So strong. Oh my God. Mm.
Okay. What's it?
That's it. And the translation is going to be very fast, so.
Okay, 정말 저시들 저트들이 좀 배가고 좀 손스.
First of all, to everyone, very happy that we can meet today here.
그래서 전에 다 드린 거 추게 아니 다 조시스입니다. 조직대 정말 저 무일 원에대 장들 당에대 담임기 넘버 2 진지하래. 저희 무일 등아 저기 지 장시 셈고 걸래. 소소 니마르리나 칸투도 야지 당야. 이념데다 시럽되니까 종는 되니 세슈라. 다 대용어의 답시 인물이야지. 일이야지. 체진도 체진세는다. 로칭게 어디 가르고 그래시.
So
Yeah.
today our main topic is related to our main motivation. So if we're Buddhists, our main motivation is to practice, to train ourselves in bodhicitta. Bodhicitta also in connection to being supported by wisdom. But today our main topic is about the prerequisites. So before giving rise to bodhicitta, to bodhicitta in our mind streams, what needs to come before? What are the prerequisites to achieve this mental state?
Yeah. 다 딘디기 직 몰래 양아 수이 네. 딘디기 다 직할서다면 자와상 보시는다. 저로 좀 제사대 그렇게 된사고 딘디기 직. 얘나 딜이야 당어 수직 같이나 그런 주고야. 그렇게 좀 지고 다들 남아서 진짜래. 몰래 양아 수이 단다 빠지 딜이야 양아 수 성지 주소마시도.
그래서 인규
아니 소시 겸도도 생기가 제 생기던 거 저기다 로경치야 무일수도 생기 어떻게 공부가 되래 저 무일수도 생기 다디 디 직소소디 강에 그런 수주 어디는 체인스.
So in order to engage in these studies, in this objective, so our main objective is to have this mind generation, Tsemgye in Tibetan, so bodhicitta. And for this, we're going to first now recite the refuge and bodhicitta prayer, for those who know it.
네. 아니, 아니 조치니 셈지세 당보, 알아 셈지세 리시트도 있잖아. 셈제바스 비교 같이 송사스. 셈제바스 카드 파이잖아. 맞아 삼로 야제바스.
So to explain a little bit about this term in Tibetan, Tsemgye is usually translated as mind generation. It's a synonym for bodhicitta, but as Genla is explaining, the literal translation of this term, Tsemgye, is to the expansion of the mind.
Same not mind. Okay.
Yeah, mind. Okay. The expansion of the mind. Expansion of the mind.
Yeah. So
what is the meaning of expanding the mind? So the object of where your thoughts are usually, what you're thinking about, this object needs to be expanded. So not only thinking about yourself, about this small object.
Yeah. Well, they only that Coptic sim by Jackie that is sim gear no so she was a mayamba. Didn't only that you can't to Jonah, Sinje Tamje. So my John is also count to do not see queries. Teacher on the semi
So in this expansion of the mind, so it's about expanding the object of your thoughts, the direction of your thoughts, not only for yourself, one person, but to as many beings as you can. So if you can, of course, all sentient beings, but as much as you can, the more sentient beings, your thoughts, the more expanded your mind is. Maybe you have heard before of the 4 immeasurables.
Yeah. 같이 톱도라고 같이 톱도세야 돼 탐체대야 고사로 당투고요 다이나야 체 딘디지리세야 체 다다 잠마퇴 되나듯이
So in the four immeasurables, the object you take as your focus of your attention, it's not only yourself, but it's said to be as many as you can. So even if you cannot reach all sentient beings with your thoughts, so you go in the limit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
되는 변선을 하잖아.
For example.
미디안시요나 미디아의 탐체대 임바차쇼. 변화의 변조잖아. 된지는도. 변화도 미디아시요나. 미디아가 돈다 조여나. 다 디노네 미 참아가 돈다. 미 컴다 사실질 미디아에 차샤. 미디아가 돈다 조여나. 사실 디 참아가 돈다 소소 조여. 직체. 미디아가 돈다 조여나 사실들 미요가 참아가 돈이야 소소 삼았던 거라. 다 된다고이나 센제 탐체제도 되니시라고. 다 이나요 다 이는 뭐 같이 지카시가 미 아당압주 특제 양나 쉽제 같이 토토식 농바디는 뭐야요 차죠. 뭐 압주 특제 같이 토토식 그 돈달 소소 삼았던 거나 그세 다다시 되어만 세매 봐서 디크시오. 미디아 참말라는 세 다다리서서.
미디아 참말 그래.
미디아 참말 살로 당투고요 마다 그런 게. 농바지는 미디아에 차셔서 미디아 참말기 돈달 같이 미팅가 미디아에 차셔 미디아가 돈달 같이나 농바디면 참말이 체들 같이요. 다이나 참말 제마도 다 같이 그런 거 같이 tutto. 다 뉴스 성장 압주 같이나. 대신에 세 다다시 매일. 세매 바스 야청 압주 양의 민 압주 잡아요 마다 민 압주 tutto. 이제는 롬바디는 그세 다다시 고자와 지금 세 다다요 말 직전에 어디니실에 세매 봐라 다들 마이비 이 미션바샤 그런 직부 체들에 같이 되나 라니 직부세 어디글로 어디까지 벤슨
So for example, a way to understand this immeasurable, so as many sentient beings as possible. So immeasurable in Tibetan Tsemepa, it's without a limit. So without it's like countless, similar, yeah. Yeah, it doesn't have an exact number, exact number to the sentient beings you want to benefit. So this is similar, for example, in a place, there's a population of a place, and you have the motivation to benefit everyone in this nation, for example, in this country. So you don't know exactly how many people are in this country.
농바치기는 메디아에 차샤스. 메디아 참아를 같이는 아니 대심제 참아를 지도라 대신 심제세. 참아를 지도를 같이는 곧세요를 참해봐 말해. 다 참아를 지도를 같이 통하면 되다. 메디아는 아니 뭔가죠 tukche 숨쉬어 다 그런 같이 토토세야 돼. 세 다다요만 하고 세 다다 콜레가 체토 직전에 거 집주기 체트 양은 앞주기 체트 양은 특주기 체트 마마마 이것이 뭐 집주기 체트를 같이 시고 말다 집주다도 직전에 집주기 체트를 같이 오지를 직전에 앞주 다 소소 카운터도 지치기 얘라다
그냥 공기군론
그런나 양체메 봐 상마데 상마 체토고 말다 미디아에는 농바티 미 상마를 같이 토스는 데 가보인사레스 이나 당가랑 카운터도 체트를 같이 얘라고. Okay, there's good design.
Should have super chance. So in this measurables, you think you don't think to benefit all of them, but you fit as much as I can. So for example, if it is 40%, 50%, as much as I can.
Then in Lombardina, me jaiga nas the patient. 미팅가 자다다 요나 이 롱바티 미 참아기 체들에 같이 인세나 디젠세 지그 사원로 당도 지그 바리 셈제 탐색이 체드세요 빼셔 그러면 빼다 체드다 카포레샤 대빼 미모 뭐지 체드에 체도서 다 이나 소소 같이 토도지 되게 인세데 아니
an example to the immeasurable aspiration, which is, for example, in one place there are 100 people. And you have this motivation to help everyone, all these people. That's similar to the immeasurable aspiration. But you can also have the motivation to, if you think that 100 is too many, so you have as much as I can, as many as I can, I will help. So it can be 40, 50, 60, 70, 99, 100 even.
어디 담아대 심지 담아대 참여리 담보대
This last one, as much as I can, this is called the immeasurable.
Okay.
It's the immeasurable. All of these 100 people, this is the mind generation, this is the bodhicitta motivation, all sentient beings. Okay. Similar. I hope it was clear. It was a bit confusing for me, sorry. But I hope it was clear.
Yeah,
it's the difference between countless and between all sentient beings. So countless sentient beings is the motivation as much as I can, as many as possible. The all sentient beings is really all sentient beings. It's different motivations. That's what I'm trying to explain. I'm trying to say. So first we're going to set our motivation. Sorry, I forgot about this.
Tomba ni song dan tin jitin di kamlia chikiwa tamba mambo chen ko tsog lang to kar naja ten na jeng so so yichi chi di chet lab yin se tonta des tam jamdo dena.
So the meaning of this prayer, I already went through this yesterday, but just to go very briefly, the first two verses here, they're about refuge. And the meaning of this is from the Buddha Shakyamuni, the historical Buddha. Until then has been many masters of the lineage. So this, you are reaffirming your confidence in the teachings, and you are reaffirming your confidence that you're going to follow the advices exactly as it was prescribed. The advices, you're going to try your best to follow them. And then the second, the other two verses are about this mind generation, this expansion of the mind.
야외자와 레비자와 간드실이나 참마데 라니기 체트마이 다 생제
전적이 체트에 참바. So in this prayer you're saying that through all your good activities, it's a jintsok, so your practice of generosity and etc. So etc. All of them, you're reaffirming here that you're doing them for the purpose of others benefit, not thinking just of yourself.
다 되니 대리 가서 그 조시디 강 말레나 가정 공례 가서 가르쳐 그래서인데 맞아 내가 죽고야 가르래서 내가 그때 나시다 타틱도 나줘야.
So yesterday we were not yesterday but before in the previous classes we were talking about what is our temporary goals and what is our ultimate goal.
Yeah. 다디 네 내갑제 돈다 가정 공례 가서 지시 진로사로.
So we have already explained about the temporary goals.
단 타틱이래야 타틱을 같이 시비 가려야 아니 단다 harbatsam tension bazi ni kachi shigre.
So when you talk about the ultimate goal, there are two. So there is liberation and omniscience.
Yeah. Ta deni nangleya ta tri nga chuma lekoya chu chigde kharjana. Ta chi tension jemba joya siati.
And today the main
imje dangja kachi shiyongde tension jemba joya si.
So the main direction we're going today is in with the ultimate purpose is to omniscience, which is the one that is related to this expansion of the mind generation, bodhicitta. So in the way to achieve this state of mind, according to the Buddhist scriptures, there are two main methods.
So, but
these two ways, two methods to achieve, it's not that they're separated, they're not related. They're very closely related.
다치디 남아서 뭐하고 살에 안에 다치 파르칭 그쪽에 시에탄 직제 안에 디강래야 니바드 상하게 강이야 안에 탐천천 버접 당세 르니 그시그
I'm sure many of you, if not all of you, have heard already many times. These two methods, they are the explanations of the perfections, and the second one is the secret mantra vehicle, the Tantra vehicle.
Tadi niga de ane chik tamchen jemba se samlo juya le kuniga chone dubko gre sone kable ya ta kuniga le kar sang go re semde dig samlo de la jew chimbu samlo no le ane chik manta ya niji chimbu nyamle yongke chimbu nyongta niji chimbu nyamlen de go zku niji chimbu nyamlen de go ma tsina. So these two
vehicles, both the vehicles of the perfection, the perfections, and also the secret mantra vehicle, they are considered to be, as we were seeing the Lam-Rim, to be vehicles of the great capacity being. And this great capacity being, the practice starts with the practice of great compassion. Before the practice of great compassion, it cannot be said to be considered a being of great capacity.
Okay. Okay. Ta ninja chimbo ani gore song bi kable ta number so wi song chichena ngole ya pachi ke jamsang di na peo jere te maingi ta mambo san jang ninja chimbo se di kache se kable ya muir de ta ki nang ke ani sem ja chimbo ba sem chen tamchel che kozu dinga se ko du sam samlo di yoku.
So this great compassion, maybe some of you who are coming for Geshe Gyaltsen's class on Sundays, you have heard already about this great compassion. This great compassion also, as we were saying, is a very expanded, extensive mind, because it takes all sentient beings as objects. So it's an expanded mind and desires to clear away the sufferings of all the sentient beings.
So this
mind is necessary.
So samlo de simchi ngol rogo ta.
And this mind needs to come before what is called the mind generation, bodhicitta. This mind of great compassion needs to come before the bodhicitta.
Ta ena tindi samlo chikpo shire sena tindi mayimba tanda tage kongle chishu tsare simchi ze sim jachimbo se onde kono muyela senche tamche ton do samlo shiko kable ya. Ti samlo di chik soso gela chik karsorta chik ane chuma mayimba chikiale mole chichi mambo shile ndoya chade.
But this is the only cause. No, this is only mind that's necessary. No, that's not the only mind necessary. In order to give rise to this expansion of the mind, we're calling like this mind generation, bodhicitta. There are many other causes and conditions that need to be in place for us to give rise to this mind in ourselves. And what is necessary? Maybe many of you have learned this already. So one of them, many of you probably have heard, is the 7 limbs. Just this 7 limbs? 7 limb prayer. And like this, also the 4 methods of gathering disciples.
So these 4
All of these methods, all of these conditions, they are very interrelated. They benefit each other when we practice them.
So Gandhi Carpento reason Suzuki Samloti Semkiz, Sem Jachimutiala, Dodana Jurishimas, Jimambo Shilia, Jimambo Saguia, Elian Sonam with sort of ship sauce Casanguela, Chichora, Tindilia, Pentoya, the Suzuki Samloti Suris, and teaching same Judo course. And you got a sonum sort of shit so near Gandhi, Drogo. So no so the Sony Saya and the Yanatenberg on the Southern, they will go ship on the Southern, Tennis Jamdro Goya, or the somebody Taman Simchi Bush chip.
So all of these methods here, they are acting also by generating the accumulation of merits and also the accumulation of wisdoms. So through this 7 limbs prayer, and also through the 4 ways of gathering disciples and Kyamdo and refuge, we are strengthening our accumulation of merits in order to have one effect, which is this bodhicitta.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Simji zed got the number to Mambu Koyore. That's it. Chochining as young. There's some. It's some Samlo Pe, Trim, Tingy Pe Koporo. I'm set to under Mandalegra. There's some of Tommy some of Pe. John Matatian, Pet Nirbo. Normal meet the Tana, there's some Bima. There's some chicken was in Korea Chinese cigarette Namtosa. Chivanta Madale cigarette. But
Now,
yeah. Simji dosh, Simji zed Chikichimush was Songotus. Tati Samlochita, Tandang Chikinishi Pentoya, Senja Tamjan Pentoya, in the Pachimala Kayam dus. That needed is Samlotan Danish gauge. Tandang Joya maintained Shireas and Samro. Tandapagi Tumjandish. Singing Matsin, the young Samaris of Samro. This is some Quasigra.
A thought that can come very easily nowadays. People nowadays, maybe they have more discursive thoughts in their minds nowadays, and whenever they hear something, they immediately have so many questions and many thoughts about it. So maybe when they hear about this mind generation, this bodhicitta, and hear about the benefits of the bodhicitta, it can run into their mind, it can pop up in their minds, the feeling, that the question is, but if I do this for others, how is my life going to have any success? It's like I'm not going to be able to achieve anything if I don't think about my purpose.
Salo tanga tsamshikini mele pento kumarawasi. Tangi mele kandishi meji mamboshi pento. To sigres. Ngi chik. Ani Japanjo kichani mi mamboshi pento. Ngati nipa mintu ten sigro ta. Yang chik shiyung bikani ngi mamboshi pento zena teya kaporish. Tatili samloji tanga teni chiki kar pento yori. Ngoni mi mamboshi shemba mamboshi pento kore togu mare.
And also, how am I going to benefit all these people? Just thinking about this, not going to bring any benefit. So, but if I want to help them, to help them with poverty by giving things, that's very hard. I don't have this. Also help with education, that can be very hard. So, is it actually any benefit in having these thoughts?
Yeah, that indeed. Sablon course sigra.
These questions might come up.
Yeah. That's the pentokare. That is
So what is the benefit? Yeah, if you meditate on this expansion of the mind generation, bodhicitta, what is the benefit? Right now, for me, what are the benefits? If you think like this, what are the benefits? We can think like this.
Yeah, if
I give one example.
Tindig samlo chik korong ngoni ti chongna da yinba che. Tang ngoni ma chong nga so tiri kangla ya. So chima wa che ne samlo tang de to na. Tiri so le ya chik. Mike le ya. Ani so samlo nang na kanga mambo shik se nanda. Samlo yachi rin do ya. Kanga mambo shik. Lamsa chik ma sep shik cha ma do ya. Sim le ya. Ani chik popan do se nanda kangtar. Lotop odini jiya. Tindig pento ya wa de. Geshe jari drink yosita marang tena.
Kariyang kirang gane.
Tandi ne kabla tindi samlo tangna, tandi ne kabla lamsa nga tishi simchi kese ade kaporwa. Aina chumawa chene samlo tangna. Chumawa. Tishi ndo chena. Ane susu samlo yachiri ndo ya. Tigi lamsa simchi cha chocho maimba. Tindi chumaya le ya. Geshe japen doksare samko yosita.
So in something that I think a benefit that we can have right now, if we start practicing, it's hard for us to get to this mind generation, to this bodhicitta, to give rise to bodhicitta. It's hard. But even with an artificial thought, artificial feelings, artificial in the sense that you have to make effort to get them, with each practice, we are expanding our minds more and more. We're expanding our minds, our thought. And the more we expand our thoughts, the less our mind is prone to giving up or to being overwhelmed. So our inner strength is going. Our courage, we get more courage. The more we expand our minds, we get more courage, and we're not easily overwhelmed. We don't give up so easily. So this, I think, it's a benefit that comes quickly. For example.
So someone didn't find that bengi, Timo Zengeti. Who bears Simba Coranjing Goyang, she seem to Yomar. Taina could Jima a bit to know. She gone to Yin City Gama Poco, yes. They mother Shambala Summits and Tanguma, Dancer Macy and Roshi. Kitchen, some of Korapambo the Yachu. The Coranjing was on the Kamashi take to us.
So one example. So nowadays there are people who do bow and arrow as a sport, yeah. So they aim at targets. So let's say someone is doing this, and there is a big target, a vast target, a lot of space for the person to hit. So the person, when it goes to hit, it's very easy for this person. The person is not worried. It's just it's gonna hit somewhere. But if the person has a very narrow mind, so there's only one place, only the mind is not expanded. It's only has to hit that very small target. So then the person has many more anxiety, much more problem in her mind. One example.
Yeah. That then the also samlo nali namji jidde also karakurisana. So
like this, as what usually in the world when we are living our lives, we are thinking about and have to get happiness for myself, for one person, most important. So this is similar to having this very small target.
If
you think only mostly about yourself, only about yourself, then yourself becomes the most precious thing for you. It's like you're abandoning, not abandoning, but you're forsaking every other sentient being. And if you think so much about this person, this one person, then this person I becomes very, very extremely precious for you, and you're not thinking about anything else. And because it's so precious, anything that comes that can seem as to be harming this I, you have to defend yourself. You have to defend this very precious thing. So when you're defending, you also become very sensitive to all these harms. Because apart from this very one, you don't have anything else. You're not thinking about anything else. So it becomes very precious, extremely precious.
Yeah. That didn't cover ya. Oh, that did Chochin is on down. And it John Chipate and it's our chicha as you see on Mares. So
from one side, if you think there is no actual reason for you to be the most precious person in the world, we are all the same in a sense. The way that we are born is the same. The way that we think is also the same. Whatever you want for yourself, others want for themselves. Whatever you don't want for yourself, others don't want for themselves. The way of thinking is also the same. So if you look from one side,
ko chikya te ya chi karsorta sonchuk do chegwana jono chikbo mai ba jamba sonchuk chekwa chikba chagro.
So if you think from one side, the way of holding as precious is the same for you and for others. So also they need to protect. It's not only for yourself, but also for others from one side.
Mo dindi gong le samlo chik tang kabla chik dagi soso chikbe chet samlo tang de dili samlo pa gya chiang de soso chik ranjing ga soso pe lolon de chang de yash. Shiwo da nga de pedika nga chikbe chik tsawa chimbu chik kanga re mendo samlo de yana. Ko chik saya tuaya ta chik khar ga chon ne na shiwo da di kang le ya chik soso ngele drogo ya ne kang shiwo ma se.
So correct?
소소 딱 원이 남긴 것을 지 자야신의 약속을 내려라고 삼삼 대사신의 약속을 나고 삼삼 이 삼로 라진 것도 많고 말이지.
So by expanding your mind in this way, then many problems that come from only thinking mostly about yourself, they disappear and you become much more relaxed. You become much more relaxed. For example, usually the way we go, if we hold ourselves as the most precious, so we are constantly worried and like what kind of food I'm going to get, what kind of place I'm going to get. So everything related to the self, you strive to get the best things for the best food for yourself, the best place to sleep for yourself.
Yeah.
So but if you have this expanded mind, these thoughts they won't pop up. They don't cross your mind that you're needing the best for yourself.
다이나 다 든지 삼로데 자체를 타야래 다 되게 공을 주시사리야 즉 고네 즉다 콜이야 펜도 정게 삼로 가르고 그래 대 뭐래야 맞아 저딩도 가르고 그래서 우리 되게 공을 안에 연락된 바지야 연락된 바는 게 아무지 창사가지야지 당 안에 같이 숨바 창사 조칭 샤바지야 대 님부터 주고 샤바지다 뒤니데 가정이네 같이 종사리.
And in order to achieve this, in order to expand your mind in this way, so as we were saying before, there is this thing called the 7 limbs prayer. The 7 limbs. So the first of these limbs is a prostration, which we explained in the last class. And also in previous classes, we have explained about the third of the limbs, which is purification. And we talked in previous classes about the 4
power, like objet. Yeah,
the 4
power,
for opponent powers.
Yeah, open.
For opponent powers of purification.
Yeah, take what they want to chonsarwa. The dealing also with chick. Chopa pass. Chopa say the sonum good chop the carchin go, simke balaya. The carchin kitchen boris, the college generators.
So the second limb is about offering. And why is offering important in order to generate bodhicitta?
다치도니 지 디셈케가 집어말 다 넘어서 상말을 냠냠 파시어래 다 쳐봐서 콜래야 만보고요 대야 나치 집어마이마 지출력 리스마 쳐 상말은 쳐봐비 또 당시어때 그때 지 셈케라다 디펜도고에 임바치테 마임베 소소 상로 가래나 또 드나티 키침부치차고 그랬어.
So not only for bodhicitta, also this practice of offering is not restricted to Buddhism. Also many other religions, many other traditions, they have this practice of offering, and they also have they also explain their benefits not only to bodhicitta but also in other sides too.
양 조진다기 공리시야 노진 다치 단디 남동 콜세라 다쳐 주니 menjo시 다도와 직초바 마모 메토이나르 신토이나 다베게니 직 대노싱가 수치 연습 비세한도 여러 네카레 water frame 제서 다 대수치 직초치니 신도 마모다다 메토 마모츠 졸라로 동시기로다.
From one side, from one perspective, as I was saying before about the discursive thoughts that we can have, for example, some people that have no familiarity with offerings, they might see, the flowers and fruits and water being offered, and they might think it's just going to waste. No, like, why are you wasting food with this?
Yeah, that day namto yung secret de money kayo mare de yung chora. The one ich patana the chick chochin kupile kanto shire touch. Yeah, ichi to che tapar che de on chile kanri chiong de tindi chi jab jong sin ta. Tindi ko le ya chi mo le ko me ma nyong ke. And so money yan sen sen de shire ta.
Yeah, this thought
Chetan de yan
can
sabo
come,
shire.
yeah, because from if we have a certain background, we can look at these things, just through faith, these actions, and it seems a bit stupid. Why are they doing this? It seems a bit purposeless. That's can happen.
Tindi nga ngara ina mamba ko nyong.
I have heard many times.
Kashi ta tindi chi control choga pese ya tindi chi pagele ya te de na chi mangi jobo ane te solo ma te san te ka te pentong de asia.
I have heard many times, for example, why instead of offering to the three Jews and making these offerings, isn't it much more beneficial to go and give to the poor people? Then it's a direct benefit.
Yeah, ta tindi kacha de chong ikable ya ta number 2 kengo ya chik sena. Tande jimba se ya te number 2 pa chi ko nyo yore jimba dang choba ni. Ta cho chi ni ku yer ke chare mo to na do shire yer ke chane mo do chagres.
So there's another thing in Buddhism called generosity. So generosity and offering, they have a difference only in object. Who is the object of our practice?
Ta dini ta ni choba le na choba de le ya ni ma to chi ma res. Ani zang zang gi choba chi tang ani dubi choba se.
And with offering, there are only two kinds of offering. So the first one is known as material offering, and the second one is the offering of practice. No, the offering, yes.
Yeah, dubi choba chuji jimba ro. Chuji choba ta dubi choba. Jimba la ya sum shi res. Jimba la sum.
But in generosity, then there are three kinds of generosity.
Tadagi koran the gang le ya ini ga yoba shisha ke tende ya minchik bi jimba se. Minchik ba jikta me ya.
And in the generosity you have the material and the offering of dharma and the generosity of dharma, but you also have the generosity of fearlessness, it's called, which is protecting people from fearful situations. That's the second type of generosity.
Ta dene yo tade gang le sha na shi ani choba phi kable ya choba phi de country chik ta chik khala ta tade gang le ko chik shi sar tande sanzeng se on ta sanzeng choba ta de le de mambo shu shi ores tade gang sha na shindo pia ta so ge chik me to pina re counter so le chik kar yo na te chik sama shi na dik de ma to tene chik the Geshe ya po shushi tindi kachi shi mare ko tsama shi na dikre chuma menjo shi karina te ma to ya Geshe shi chumbu go ya lo so de karno rang re ta Geshe ya po chung kaina ta dikre.
So talking about material offerings, so we say that we can offer things such as flowers, fruits, etc. And it's important that these offerings, they are clean, they're very pure, without any stains, stainless offerings, it said. Doesn't need to be very expensive things, but they need to be clean.
Tadini choba piati tachi nekab do sama tachi ngo so sonung chosa chik in kache shigrota. Tan do danang harangi samla tanse chena ani choba pia chikche denajin tam mabosh korina se chirlup se chito chirlup tachi koncho chena inare lami chirlup se to so chik matsu simliya pento chondang chikpa ni chikon sama tang gore samkurta ti chikpa roshi tungu yortane.
So offerings, we say that it's an accumulation of merits, offerings, and nowadays not only nowadays, but we know about the blessings, like blessings from a lama, blessings from the Buddhas, etc. I think that the way that the benefit that there is to our minds of the blessings and offerings, they are the same.
Tadiyong chik do dana tindi korno soso ta pena chobar bi ta pena so chik they are method to appeal and Yana so which shin dong to appeal. Yana got to calendar maze money to appeal. This took Gablia and the Colonel, the Colonel Samaji near the Tashi. Colonel Yabo to Chia. They are Kutsu with a chick and they give a number only Chunisha Sama and Simity Chulik Chipakachama, Zambuleti Goni, Kasan Goni Chushisaro, Jachin Giotamba Kandesian to Sama money pay. Kutsu, Chenlops in it, Kutsu Gatin, Kutsu, Yandin, the Susu Tsuri Goni. Kutsulia, the chick person, Arangit and the tits ride. Kutsulia, Puyin Samba, Samnote Go. Tikabla, Susu. Ravichit Kachama, Ravichit Mare. Ta Kuzolia Susu Choba Pili Zeti, Tikable Susu Sympathy, Samash. He got a cannot Samash, you were Harangit on the chill of Teres, chill of Mason, Sonum Saze. So same thing, Tandangasoli Tombo and the Chinchu Yasa, the church at Tango Ramado, chill of the Todoshi Leisha. Okay,
so when we go to offer, for example, go to offer a flower, a fruit, and also when we offer our food before eating our food. So it's a very important thing. It's for us to try to give rise to this pure motivation. So we remember the objects that we're going to make an offering. For example, the 3 jewels, or it can be related to other religions, of course, but remembering the qualities. We remember the qualities of these objects, and then we offer these pure materials of offerings, and this helps us when we visualize these qualities when we remember the qualities of these beings, and with the clean offerings, this helps us to generate a more pure motivation. At this moment, our mind becomes more clear in this moment of this practice. So through this, we can generate a more clear motivation. And this clean motivation itself is the blessing. This is the benefit of the offering. This cleaner motivation, this pure motivation is the blessing. It's not the merits and the blessings is not like a solid thing that is coming to you and entering your being. It's what this process that happens within you. This pure motivation is the blessing itself.
Yeah.
In the English version of the 7 limb prayers, it says, I make offering actually and mentally transformed. So I was wondering about the mentally transformed. Is it like when we do the mandala offering, that we imagine the things we offer? Or is the mentally transformed more, I offer my practice, as you just mentioned? And if it is the second one, if we offer the practice, what's the difference to the dedication?
Inci yang akan padali. Incantas da gure di poi di talinga come sai na yigi gyur. Di chopa di tsanga yigi gyur. Di dare be. Di tanda.
No, di niore. Da che gonle. Kaje chonsarwa.
Di tu pe chofare be ana di.
Ane mushim yi zhenze. Mushim yi zhen. Choto jang so se. Mushim zhe de muse tanda mentally think. Kara yana di ashamba di chupa pingis. Yiji chirpa seunde, yiji chul seunde, sosotagi sosolia getsando karayona, yitsande sit lo te gur. Te ya
Getsa.
give inanda samlo yapo kerno yapo kerno. Nana soso gone practice nyamlendo karayona. Te sit to tre, te sundo che. Tiu pa truni, tate kaze truto mato, kaze soso visual cheto mato, mi soso la rali. Kaze tensa punto tomato. Detail Cassiento Tona, that the pay or that they must so tambo, militambo.
It's a sabon net.
Saponia, rising chap, Cotinia Juchin draw remato, the Hazen Carche, Tresa Shishiko, Trish.
Yes, the Tushile.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So in the prayer it says, the actual offerings I am presenting, so the material offerings you have arranged, and this mentally, in Tibetan it's a yigitu, which is like emanated from the mind. So it's like visualized. And when you emanate from your mind offerings, you need to have a seed. You need to have a basis for this emanation to happen. And the seed is your virtues. So the roots of your virtue, you can also consider here your pure motivation or your practices. So from these seeds arise these mentally offerings, these visualizations. And then it depends on you how many visualizations, how many offerings you can visualize, how detailed you can visualize. The more detailed, the merrier, the better. But it's this, yeah. This is the meaning of this mentally transformed, I think you said in English.
No, tate gang taki sit to kono sun to ji ko gri la sun to te ta pe na chono chanchu sem ge nyam le yana chi sem ji ko le yes chi nyam yong lo te ji yo na yana chamba ta chi ba kong le yana te khong ge te ya pe na chi chamsi kon to wi na ane chi nyin ji lo de ti sun ji ko sun nyam yong lo na te sun chen ti pe ya chun ni ta chu pe sin chen ma bo ji le 그래서 dingar setoya 세송 삼박 상로 딘지트 코르 아니 디제 셈제는 몸보시 벤토야.
So the way you emanate these offerings is well, you have done some good things. You have these roots of virtue in your mind stream. So you have had some experience with if not bodhicitta, but with love, practice of compassion. So these good imprints in your mind, these good things in your mind, out of them it arises these offerings, and you also you also give rise to the motivation that made these things, the getsa
the nyamlen the cherchendo tamalaya to sosumuni sinje maboshi dinga setoya ani chamsindo wena jiwando wena ani the nyinji tyochora
dikulonde
kolon de sonro son dindi sosal nyamle ngol te yonjo te tade ya jinjo ta soso visualize chene mamboshi pento toya.
So you visualize the seeds. So this practice that you actually have, they are seeds, and you visualize them improving. You visualize them improving, and getting to the point that you can actually benefit countless infinite sentient beings like this.
Okay. So with Thupten children, we always add something like, I offer my attachment, aversion, ignorance. That makes sense. And then we offer our body, wealth, and enjoyment, also makes total sense. But we add, like, I offer my friends, enemies, and strangers. Can he maybe explain something to this? Like, what does it mean to offer my friends or my enemies to the three jewels?
Tutti giorno con suo Dima tu con Chopayang, Chopayu, Chopa con suo cari. Ni Geshe. Yeah, Geshe da Bama Bamami Ngayan Chopa Pugio. You can just go ready. Any
Namjis and the Chopazi, Kozolia, Jimbazi, Mokare. Yes, I'm
the console lamare, console chimpa, console ram, Yamdo Yulanga Pugia.
Jean Pizzello Console
Pugia. Penameto? Meto Tabla?
Te mare. Te on
Te
Lore, te samna, Dajilinga Yosimse, te Lore. Te Chopa Mare, te Kalok, te Chopa Ranga, te Corte, Solo Campon War, tate Chopa Zekachamar, tate.
So this is not offering, this is a different thought, a different practice.
Dagi Ganglea, ni, Derta. Jamdose, sure, Jamdose. Cinema Simchil, Cover, Simchik, Simjinalea. Tindin on the Sanchant Party. That when in Jigdum Lapchan on the Tikachetlew, Tati, Tikale, Salo Cartaya reason. Susu Linga Yosun Samati Jendo Gichet, Shengichet, Anitane consciously. Dodana Choronlea, Pewy in some Choron Rang La Wangins, Tirinizonte. Niu Linga Yosum, Tena Jega Daja Linga Yosum Lonjo Gesochis. So Linga Yosum Yimbachi, Tenis Susugaton, and Takizian Zashi. Tena Samadi, Jembagachit, Immaterials on the Yapui, Jembachit.
So yes, so in the topic of refuge inside the Chukdom, so the advice is to accomplish, or the precepts to accomplish. So there are, inside this topic of the precepts to accomplish in refuge. So there is the talk of from now on, I offer, they use this term, I offer, and everything is said about like the resources, enjoyment, etc., and also about friends, etc. So from now on, only for the benefit of sentient beings. So it's like you're offering for the 3 jewels, all of the things you have, like you're offering yourself. From this moment onwards, to only act for the benefit of sentient beings like this. So there is a talk like this inside refuge.
Penachik, Penson Roshana, Telecotiwan Sichana, Penadini Yunkratachik, Tuzatan Roshina, Lekachichona. Immaterials, Yana, Bizota Mashas, that Penas was a Diora.
Fabric.
Sotamayas, Pena Pishamas. Penas was so good, Dinito. So Yana. Nienjer, Masanchilia. That Masanchilia, immaterial is on the tap Kotso Rangache, the Kosole Pume, there's something to your time was a pain or chicken out. Masanchilia, a name, the Kalsar, Chikamamboya, Shambat Sanlia, Kosini and Jamba Consul Kosolia, and chicken to the Nemena, Chikichi to Kosolia, theatre. Jason Kosovi, shit.
Correct, take it.
I think when you want to switch it. Go up your shame, but yeah. Penna, Michik, Michik, Masanjik chit. Immaterials on the Koran,
Couldn't give me
Koran Yendro Masanji.
Masanji,
Masan, so much on Java. So there is on the Leka Sama Koso Rangachit, Chivin says. Me Leka Kandina Koso Rangachit in Sergito. Nilekatimoto mess, Kusarangichit in the Kachi, Kotochit and Natsui Shambagachit Chivinesiato. Tendo, that day Karsana Kenetam Jacho, Kenetam Jano. That under the Karsana, Susore, Susunia, Samad, Jen, Irin on the Jen Pengachit like a chivin there. They any type conscious Via. Kenetam Jaro Chivir. Teach it a tangi in there. Shangachit. This goes.
What's he saying? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was telling me something that in Tibet it happens.
Oh, they came
but then he changed the example in the middle of the topic. So yeah, so it's basically when you apparently in Tibet, sometimes it happens that like the family of someone that like someone close to you. So sometimes couldn't quite understand, but like you get to a situation where you make the promise that from now on you're going to work only for their benefit of this family, of because they're in need, I guess they need. So you're going to work just for this. So in a similar way, this in refuge here, you're also making this promise to the 3 jewels that from now on all of these resources, everything you have, they're only for the purpose of other sentient beings. So yeah, so this promise is done in the format of like offering these things to the 3 jewels. Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't worry. That again choba piece at choba pay kablia. That again a gone to choose. So each tripassion day. That case. And Tango Samlo Mada Yamar. So Nyamling Sunda Karayana. Dig and Jibatia cherry is also journey. The money you pay Mambo Pentos Samsung deep at the trick. The neo Suduku. Sudu the young, the indigenous social Thomas Suso Samlon, Dig with Samlo the ambush and in Yarko. Tadi pachinko nyo sa choba tsulo kashamar tadi ndi ta soso ndipo tagi kono karayo na peki sunta karayo na digun tipo pe 망보신 펜도 문송선 박사는 때도 그랬어. 어디 득도.
Tangres
서대 고야도 샤슈. 서대 고야도 영상 말했다데. 고녀는 됐어. 딩고녀는 됐어. 지망아서 단트릭 나래나 되니.
Yes. Yeah, so he was saying, so when we emanate, when we visualize our offerings, we visualize from our actual practice, from the virtues that we have accumulated, we have practiced, and they improve, you visualize them becoming this offering until it becomes like a perfect practice. And then he was explaining how later you visualize this not coming back to you, but something about making more stable. And then I asked him to explain better this, but he said, no, leave it, it's confusing. When we talk about tantric practices, then we go into this. But basically, in short, you just visualize your virtues improving when you do these visualizations and getting to a point where they are very beneficial to all sentient beings. Your own practice getting to this point where it's very beneficial to all sentient beings.
Yeah, tataki gangla chigi chare. Te karzana te tindriga sablo tang so. Ta karzana ngacho tanda li tongbo wa. Li tongbo yang de ngacho tindriga chi yochindo tanda litiria. Tani chuba pia u zindo yo na. Diu jini ngacho sablo te stanga pento yung ko. Zi di musi yo na. Diu kar pento ko. Oda tsama de chuba pi zen ro. 아직 딱 법안도에는 카타르야 비야도다. 다들 고소소소 가리나. 지소 마소리야 락찬도 그랬다. 담로야 보다에 지지츠.
And being beginners, it can be very beneficial for us as tools to actually have offerings, to actually use objects as offerings and put them. It's easier for us. It's like tools for us beginners. For example, Tibetans, we use katas, etc., very clean katas. But then it can rely also on you, on your background.
Yeah. 지금 네 다기 강을 주시 잘 담당한 수 질름직세 시라 질름제 콜그시. 배는 어서 직yana 내자와 친구 홀리 플레이스. 야나 딘디 지칸 딘디 레비 갑라. 야나 집에 근다로 배 자와 친구로. 딘디 지금 집에 갑라야. 소소 배 셈바 딩니 배 직가로서 상마 샴바강에 많고라. 배 딘디 레기도 왔어. So
for example, talking about blessings, usually when we go into pilgrimage or sacred holy places, it can be very easy for us from the deep of our minds to get a very clear mind, like without thoughts. It's much easier to give rise to this mind. This clear mind that shows up itself is the blessing, in my opinion. This is the blessing, and it's a yeah.
배나다 직대는 어제 라마자치 배나 광산종 등지비 갑려야 배 광산종 등지 갑들은 배 수속 배심배는 배 자체 잡탐바 베길래 배나단지에 용으로.
And just like this, when we actually meet His Holiness Dalai Lama face, when we actually meet him, then it's much easier for us to have this very clear mind. Our mind is focused completely on this moment right now.
다바게 셈바페 집어점래요. 그 게서리베시 저리 시그라 셈바 페자샤 자탐방아서 때모로 따나 연아 직세모르 제나 셈바페 제링겜 제나 인고로 되게 게서시야 가레다 딘디 페치어다 마시야 마모부치 저거로.
And we can ask ourselves, just having this mind, focus in one place like this, is this virtue? For example, when we also watch a TV show, we can also be very focused into that TV show. Or when we are playing sports, etc.
Yeah. 다이는 가서 남지 집 가르쳐서나 단다친네 자치무데마 소소 이치에서 아마이 너다 딘 집이 갑래야 남지 소소 그 상초가 싸울로 땅도에 예래야 아니 집 뒤위 시킨디가 쳇던 거.
So when we go to holy places that we have faith in this place, or when we meet with lamas or people that we have faith, when we actually meet them, it's much easier for our minds to go to a virtuous direction.
어디 제시 다 저와치리 그래서 저와치 가는 데는 당만 저 다시 넘어 진짜 초바 비비라 칼라세 가래. 이 초바 비 칼라사로 갔던 거.
So one question also might come, maybe some of you know about the food offering we do before eating food, yeah? So, 초밥이라 간다서 어떤 거래?
Anti kamla number 2 ta chiya chupa ta zidian chupa pure. Ti kamla yang no katang do.
So it might come the question, how should we be thinking when we do this practice of food offering? How should we think?
Ta pena chik soso ane chik pegi sama ta ti pena dermar chikno sama chikna. Te sama ya konchole pishan soso sashan dik maras.
So if we're eating and we offer the food, maybe many of you practice this. So in our plate, there is this food. If we offer to the 3 jewels, we're not going to eat, right?
Sashan dipasag marvesiro. Karjana koya shambala mo chanjoshi. Mo chanjoshi shambaji chetia soso pi chanjoshi. Ta soso sana chochini kumado chagari chagmar.
And if we have offered the food and then we come and we eat the food, isn't that, it's not negative, like, because it's not like stealing, you give to someone something and then you get it and you eat it yourself.
Energy challenge. Kyarangita chik challenge wina. Chalaji. Ani shambaji chelia. Qualitates.
For example, you give something to someone else.
Ani anti jili kyarangita tapo jab kyaranga pechotandena. Quality country my korang chichena kora.
But then, like, you give, I use a computer as example. It's okay. You give a computer to someone, but then you're the only one person using this computer. You never give this computer actually to the other person. Isn't this weird?
So
it becomes like this, the situation, or not? So if it's not okay like this, then how should we offer the food to the 3 jewels? So there are 2 ways of thinking when we do the food offering that comes from 2 different lineages of masters. So one way of thinking is thinking that you're offering like the substance of this food, like the essence. You're offering the essence of this food to the 3 jewels, and the rest you're gonna eat yourself. In brief, the way of thinking is that you're offering the best of this plate, of this food you're offering to them, and the rest it's for you. Like if I offer all the essence, like the nutrition of this food, if I offer, then I don't have nutrition. So if it's not okay to practice like this. So another way of thinking is thinking that you offer everything, you offer all of the food to the 3 jewels, and then they give you back. They give you back the food. That's another way of thinking. Or you can think half also if you want. I offer half and then I eat half. Yeah, whatever is easy for you, whatever is good for you to practice. And each person thinks, so whatever is best for you. Yeah. Yes. And if you guys find a third way of thinking, then you do the third way of thinking if you want. Yeah. Do what you get.
Like the Indian way of doing like that. You offer food and the god or the deity eats something and the leftover it is
Very nice.
What did I know? Call tagging touch cursor, Corso, Hanjoti, so, cheese, cursor, in this on the time. Sure. What they are to pay up to, yeah, it's very good. Yeah, a nation but 2 US, 2 Tua. Okay.
Maybe I can
Yes,
share
yes.
Yeah.
about the offering, because you just mentioned about offering the friend and the enemy. Why? Before I attend the teaching of Phuntsok, especially in the process dying Phuntsok, we are dying. We can doing offering, especially offering what we like or what we love and what we hate. So why we are doing this kind of offering? Because we can offering we like or we hate to the Buddha, and it means for us we can detachment. Otherwise, we like love it so much, or we hate it so much, and with this kind of mainstream or the mind stream, we were going to the next life. However, if we do the offering to the Buddha, we just open our mind without this kind of attachment. So this is what this is what my understanding. So maybe Geshe can also share that.
Yeah. Cool. The chick Yawata Divas, Condota, and then Chinyam Sama, yeah. Chobia, Tiana, yeah, judgment. That is all get on it under someone doing that. It's not choking Yametan, Chetan, Rich, do Chagado. That didn't go, yeah.
Yes, usually, like you said, there are some things in Tantra that are similar yet to practices like this too.
Yeah. Tajani was it indeed Yamle, that Choa piece of Canada, that indeed Jiram Chatang Tamlam, Bear Mambo, Bishop Sapo, Bear Mambo, yours. They Nanging Arang some Tambo, touching us a Tambo, Jan Dinkis, Chimambo Shejana, some sort of Parilia. And it's also Gomatsard, which Gonyo Tsering, and some sort of Ichima, land. Kujambe and Bacon, so Chick Janky sound donkey. But it also some like a tempo on the chatsana, Karche Jenishore.
Yeah, usually about offerings in Buddhism is very detailed. They're very profound, very deep, very detailed explanations and methods and ways to do offerings. And I think to explain, to go deeper into this, I think it can become a bit confusing, or we can even lose our interest or lose our trust in this. I think it's better for us to first become stable in one method of making offerings, in one understanding, and then once it's stable in our minds, then we go to the next, to understand it in a deeper level, to understand the next step of how to understand and practice offerings.
Church in the Taki College, so Dajian, Dantan, Shenda, Dajian, but some so little Naki, and the chick, and the Chachetan, then on Shank, so long church. Though the chicken number 7, Mandra pieces, Mandra, Mandra P. Mandala, or take Kavlia, so the Chibuka Shewumare. Jictin Yonzo ya pure. Jictin Yonzo. Jictin Yonzo, the Yimbache. Yimbachin, Jictin become good Sinjan Kachishumare. No Chi Yonzo ya peer somewhat. Damn, that is so. Yeah.
Yeah, for example, there's talk about us offering our body our speech, our mind to the three jewels. And also, for example, when we offer the mandala, and you do offerings of the mandala, not only yourself, not only your friends, etc., your body, your mind, you're offering the whole universe, everything that exists, you offer to the three jewels.
Yeah. That they garden. So indeed some lot of time kabli karaysan. Tapenachi ane taki randa so jasin. Tamshi nyamdeya, matu tsama nyamdeya, neka chiviwa samlo koi kabli. Carpento reason tsama tanyebu chore. So chinchu samlo tame chansa in a Indian samlo koi. Penamasa tsama nyamde leka chela kabli. Leka kitchen shows
One way of thinking, a small could be small, just one side of like when you offer everything and you also include yourself and also your enemies or people you don't like, basically people that are annoying, etc. You include this person. The meaning here is also because you think like everyone, not only yourself, but these people also they're going to work for the purpose of sentient beings. You're working for the same purpose, and this also helps you to feel closer to these people that you don't like. Yeah. The meaning in all of us together. Only for the benefit of others. Only for the benefit of others. From today onwards, we're gonna work for this together. Everything together. Just like he said, yeah, just like he said, without this mind of feeling distance from the people you don't like.
Yeah.
For example, if you get a very important job, if you have a very important work to do.
Yeah,
one example. In one classroom. Some of your classmates you like, you go well with them. Some of them they're a bit annoying. You don't care so much about them.
Yeah.
But if it comes that your class has a very important job to do, a very important work to do, and the teacher comes and said, we have to do this is very important, and we need to work together with this. And if you have a very important work to do, then it's not so important with the feelings you have about someone else, the negative feelings you have.
During
this moment of this job, then the feelings of animosity they go down a little bit, and in a similar way, this thought that we all go to work for this purpose, it also helps you to feel closer to the people you don't like.
You know, so some no captivity, chick so the tangor send tam nyam the sauce of his nyam the pin in control and sugar pivers and colludic. Taking us when yam so cheap in chubu namji or chupe pure in a coloncar. The cathy gesture don't.
So also the more expensive is our motivation, the more merit we accumulate. So for example, when we are offering food, sometimes we are by ourselves, eating by ourselves. Sometimes we are with 5, 10 people and we are all making the offering. But also when you're by yourself or when you are with people, you visualize, you imagine that through this offering, everyone is accumulating merits and everyone is offering to the three jewels. You try to expand your mind the most you can. Yeah.
On the Kablayan, that's also a Namji Magasai. Namji Nyamling and all that in the Yorta. So which Namji show Tarembo sorting media. so
Tsering
bari
boat, so
ta chik magas tonda
Uh,
tinjo ina ta tinji kablia to ya train the changing almost nyam de yang de zendo
And
tiche
during-
tona pe pendo yo
And during this, you remember these people that you don't like so much, basically the people you feel emotionally distant to, and you remember them, and you get the feeling together we're going to this together, we are offering together, and then it's very beneficial in this relationship.
ti kar pendo or jena ele yang chik kar so sa ya le namji ngara trobon nyam de chuba pi sambali ngara jan nyam de chuba pi samba sa na tong thona ti pe sonam so sa ya che
If you can think that you are offering with your friends, with the people you like, and you're also offering with the people you don't like, then the merits are greater, the benefit is bigger.
no ti kar chene ti kable ya chorong gi chik chu namji maga ga samlo de pa yuvne nyam de inda se ya chi karmo chi le ora ti chani sonam gi lab che san
Why? Because at this moment, temporarily, you are reducing this mind of not liking this. So your motivation is purer, it's cleaner.
any question?
Yeah.
Good.
So in the starting, we were speaking about expansion of the mind. So that you gave an example of the bow and arrow thing.
Yes.
And then you explained us how if our mind is not open, like the self, we can hit anywhere, but if our mind is narrow, then it causes more anxiety to the self. So is the mind the self or the self, like what are we explaining? Ourselves, like we should think about everyone. So are we expanding ourselves or is this just the mind?
Mm. What is expanding, the mind or the self, and what's the difference between those two?
And what does mind mean?
Good question. Sem gidonda ram, sem donda karire, donc ani sem donda kepa karire, ingana supena getchiru tangore, lewa
Yeah.
di sem
Sama
case
Geshe.
donda getchiru tangore, ani kari getchiru drogire, sem reve yana ngana sigita tak yang getchiru drogire, dikanta sagure di kepa dada sem.
And if we have to expand ourselves and we think about others as many as we can to benefit, then what's the function of the self? Is it even required?
Function of the self is the self required.
I think we need an extra hour for this.
Correct.
Yeah, definitely need that. The last one is if the function, if the self is required.
Yeah, I mean, we need to think about everyone. We should think about everyone. So,
Maybe in the analogy of we're the ocean,
yeah,
if we're thinking about a bigger target, who's the we?
yeah, exactly.
In the analogy, who is
Yeah, the
the
analogy, who's the archer, thinking of a bigger target.
비트전이 그런 미직들이 치르다 땅에니 이 심신 탐지를 연한 다케니 비스를
lagi awante penso de penso karishara sena taki semoti nala game di nala sem bagi tachi tsipar ji gong remote koko chungu ji na te ko ina so be ni chi te dat pembi ka la samlo tan chugo yo na so le ya ni kanga di nyawa yo re pa da pengi tsima tsenge karishana ko muyu de be ja chimbu bagi ko ina ko samlo tan yo re 그걸 가서 띠스 당번이 그런 그 로지안으로 치르는 티 벌써 산에 치야돼 생전 담신세야지 이제 몽골 살아다니 티 빈서 티체 다 되는 게 끼마다 와지나 다 컨택트하고 도트로 친주 지나 티 상가 강래 그걸한테 ran신게 빼면데 당번이 스트레스나 다 컨택트 그 저기 자고야 자기다 티 가잖아 티 도트 수수로 so 찍부치 싸우는 땅에 가려야 자와 체제 찍마도 상을 당세 요마래 그럼 뭐봐 손세 찍마도 매나 샴바 상마 이고 소소랑래
Vicky Malina.
소소랑래 다 소소랑 대치래야 세야도 다기 스페기 드로팅 가는다 더 포고 델레라오시 보야지 요마다 가르치는 생각 그때
Yeah, so in this example, so yeah, we were saying that someone with a bow and arrow, and then there is a big target, right? So this big target is representing you thinking of many other people, so it's all sentient beings. So wherever it hits the arrow, it's okay, because that's your goal. You're thinking about all of them. But if you're thinking only about yourself, this very small little dot that you have to hit, this represents yourself. And apart from yourself in this situation, if your mind is not expanded, apart from yourself, nothing else is really so important. Nothing else really matters. Just your happiness, your suffering. That's the only important thing. So if you have to hit this very small little thing, it's hard to hit this. And that's the only thing that's important. So then the anxiety, the fear that this might not be achieved comes, you become very sensitive. But if so this small little target, this is I. And the big giant target is all sentient beings.
Dindi kabla karsana porque ramo one dot no chigang pokore abe kamen ta churangale am zawa chishu tere mato jamba and thale ramo korko chimbu de chol yo mara.
So this very small little dot is the most precious thing, it's the most important point in the whole ball that is there. All the other points you don't care about nothing of this. You don't care if the arrow goes there and there and there. You don't care about these other points in the wall. You only care about this small little point.
Tendo ta chi soso rang gang sabla tang kable ya ta rang this chikpa de zawa chishu chaku ta de song ju kar chi de kan na mambo chi le de oda de gang she na shi sempa jache se de 저 가르치는 자와 친구 저그래서 연세 거라 요 말다 가르치는 참마 레벨 치고
And then yeah, with the
심지
with the mind thinking only about yourself, then the I becomes extremely precious, and then being extremely precious, then you have to protect it. And there are no reasons why do we become extremely precious. There are no reasons actually to why we are extremely precious if we compare ourselves to others.
Yeah.
And it's same that kepa.
Ale ta nambi ta ro kan shi na sim ta da ise de
Ni kari gechid tangire.
I sim round jachir tangar ma da jachir tang se kache ho.
And it's not the I that is expanded, it's the mind that is expanded. The mind, not the I.
Ta ni saulo tang tong de ni saulo tang
My
cho
way
ya
of
tang
thinking. My way of thinking.
ta joba ro se na ra chacho te sim dang de ni chacho sim dang de ni behavior sequence de jachir
My thinking and also my behavior that is connected to my way of thinking is expanded. This is the point. My way of thinking is expanded.
ta tin jowa tang la ten so go nam ji is kal so ra ta na ma so zipo ta chi teli nam ji li joba ten tang le jowa ro secrets ina ti nga jachir tang ke mare.
It's possible that the behavior of the body changes, but that's not the point.
Marte nga jachir tang sen mare se na da jachir ke chet mare de
It's not
so
about the
linga ke joba ten tang jowa ro res linga ke joba ten tang jachir ro ni ta nga dang ik tumga ani jolam behavior so gora.
Sorry, I need to correct. He said that it's not the I that is expanded, it's the actions of the body, actions of speech, actions of the mind that are expanded. And the difference between mind and I. So according to Buddhist philosophy, I and mind, they're not the same thing. They're different things.
Ane ta jinse chi khara tang ese na pena ane mis chik dindi kashi ta tes chwa de le ta da dan sem ni shik pare mari chik che ane da dan 아니 소소 본디 봉세 쇼라 대치과리 말해
So there are two questions. So there are two questions that mainly come when we analyze the eye. So is the eye and the mind the same thing, or is the eye and the body the same thing?
다 제가 아마 직 가려 연구를 단다 렌 남주에서는 렌 가르쳐요래 빼나 당당 당세야 되당 아니 수습보니까 지금 많이 봐대 맞으면 렌지 강이 수습을 하고 그래서 간이 그래서 근데 빼나 직 다치 서서 직습폰 다니 지나다 하나 서서 직 단디 직 가시 제모자요는 등에 제공도 서서 사블로신 그랬어
Porque agora
빼나 다치 좀 방법이나 직 서서 너바 맞음니 근데 가시 제모자요는 등에 제모자의 인삼을 사우는 용시 그랬어 이 가르서 나오래서는
So the fact that the eye and the body, they're not the same thing, that's something that we naturally have. We all know this spontaneously. We all have the feeling that this is my body, that this is not the eye. We even have some people that because they're not satisfied with the body they have the feeling, if I could trade bodies with someone else, I would do it right away, that they're not satisfied. So this shows that we know that the body is not the eye.
On the downtown Siponi, Pombonica, Data Pombola, Data Pomoni, Chimba, the thinker. The chick, down same dogs, same down. Chickparita Mares, that it isn't going outside into Greece. So you have to pay up for hatching up.
So is the mind and the eye the same? That's more confusing. That's a bit more confusing, which is why that's a good question too.
Yeah. Gonyo Satan Carres and Nambita China, and a dog said young Montuni, Giovanni Madures. Chikangamani, dog said young Gore, Giachimala do Chiche, and Semi to which
And how does it get confusing? Well, the eye is explained to be something that travels from previous lifetimes to this life to future lifetimes, and also the mind travels from previous lifetimes to this life to the future lifetimes.
That indeed, so Pakila, money, but Cinto Kablea, Dawsi at Carini. Only Dawsi at Carre. Dawsi at second runner, and the Zichange graduate, Yana Zigme, Tagiziana, same graduate, Shipash graduate.
And if we go if you go to look for the eye, so we're looking for the eye, what is it that we're going to find when we look for this eye? Is something that has a shape, a material shape, is something that it's formless, it's like a consciousness, like mind. What is it that we find when we look for the eye? And then there is some differences in the Buddhist philosophical schools, in the Buddhist tenets, there are some differences in how they talk about this.
Chilingagi Jolam, Lingagi Chopatetam, Tindi with that Chikamani Chumalama, Pacha, Susagia the Magirima, transport Chever, Mandura, Tichevi covering and taking Die and Ruri, Namshi and Ruri Lazar. And when it can get serious to Atili.
And then it comes also the question. So based on our virtues and non-virtuous actions, so they leave imprints in the consciousnesses. And this must be carried to future lifetime, this imprint. And what is it that carries this imprints? Is the eye or is it the consciousness? There's a question that comes.
No, mind is consciousness now.
Namshi, I use the Namshi. They say consciousness.
Namshi, mind.
Namshi, same.
Yeah, Nambi Tatum Commissioner, Yud Namshi. Namshi Sem Chipara, Chipars, to the China, Peggy, Yuri Kavlia, Kashilia, Samson, mind, Julian, spirit yourself to Namshi. One day yourself. That you don't some
Migi Namshi, the eye spirit, it's like Migi Namshi.
More that they natural like yeah. In a good tradition, Madal, this Yamjong with this yourself. Thing I noticed to Christian. Spirit is at the uncle and Madal. Chidon Namshi dance in Chipar. you know.
Uh,
That the Jurka Gana Kosongonyo Pitsi or Tate.
Yeah, so in Tibetan they have three words that are synonymous. So that's Tem, Yi, Namshe. Namshe is usually translated as consciousness, Yi is translated as mind, and Sem is also translated as mind.
Awareness. Mind and awareness.
Awareness.
Mind, awareness, and
There's Dharma.
Kripa. That's
Rikpa, yeah.
difference.
No, let
Yeah,
it
but he's saying that when we translate, it can get a bit confusing. Yeah, but you can understand consciousness here as mind. Yeah, same thing.
Chupa question to the
There's
Yeah.
also some people like
Kind
because
of
of their
that
background, they can say spirit
Yeah,
for this
spirit.
mind that travels from lifetime to lifetime. So we can say spirit maybe.
So there is,
It's the same thing,
yeah.
The different
Same word.
but why do they use it like
they're synonymous, but there's some difference. Like Sem Yi and Namshi.
They don't the Chikwache in a Kumi Munda, quality. Peggy,
It's just different names.
Mm.
Just different names.
a Kuchichu Munda Shigan, me Tanjore, Penatan, Pentan. I'm going your into Sarah.
Because of the different qualities, different characteristics of this
I'm wondering
phenomenon, they
if
give different names.
Only equally young switch get should support the winner, same the same Jungan Namjas. You can't get corner. It is serious.
It gets a bit clearer if you look into the mind and mental factors. You know,
Yes,
mind and mental factors, then they define
same set Karimba.
what is
Johnson
mind,
Karimba.
what are mental factors. Then it can get more clear what Buddhism says to be mind, mental factors.
You know, that Tanda Kablia, same down, downstairs, you come. Dragmaris, English, Konatu.
But now the most important is that mind and then the eye, they're not the same thing. They're not the same thing.
Color and me samlo lagre. No, so Namji wants to me samna lagre mato, me samlo dirich cook to see. Me samsen be insert.
We also use the way of thinking. We also say my thoughts, my thoughts, my mind.
No, didn't like couple and matang. And in me namshi sen, me samlo niga suso yovating also ranching.
We also we say my consciousness, my mind, my thoughts. So we also know that the mind is not the eye.
Okoti gani. Namshi zayati, ngai, chechu. Chechu. Chechu do she chow.
Dagi kichu.
Dagi chechu, ngai chechu. Chechu, dot and de or conceal, dot and drea young kick. Chechu. Chechu ramada young chore, zicking chechu young chore. Ni go, ni kambalana. Not and drea you zicking chechu. Ni namshi, ni move.
So all these things, they become features of the I. So they are related to the I, like the consciousness, my mind, my body, my leg, my arm. They're all features of the I, but they're not the I. Maybe we live here. We continue. Next. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.